I'm just thinking this. So, get active. In the end of February 2025, I was able to move from hotel living into RV living with the help of my audience. I assume you all have watched that video, and now 3 months later, it's time for me to sign my name on the dotted line again. Hey, it's Izzy, and what's been busy? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am just so excited today. I mean, you all are seeing a new background. Hello. I mean, this is so cool. So, yeah, you all saw the intro. I bought my own RV. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Like, I'm getting actually a little emotional just saying it. Like, wow. To see God move in this way, and I'm gonna be honest, I was not initially planning on buying an RV. I was honestly just really focused on getting that RV in order and to see things change around so quickly. Oh my goodness, great content is coming because let me just tell you, living in an RV by myself has been amazing. So I'm gonna talk about in this video how I bought another RV because I feel like that's gonna be really informative for you guys, and you get to kind of understand more of the financial side of things beyond like knowing that I used donations initially to buy the first RV. Yes, super informative, super important to let you guys know that. But now with this purchase, I bought everything myself, so I want to kind of give you all insight on my thinking process and how I'm doing all of this at 18. Okay, let's start the video. I want to first share my reasons. Number one, I don't feel like it's like a big reason, but it's still definitely one of the reasons I got this RV, but it has been hot. It has been so hot this summer, and I was expecting to do more work, but something happened with our air conditioner in that RV, and boy, let me tell you, I was over the moon when I was finally made the decision that I was gonna get an RV because I'm like, I need some cool air. Like, it has been a struggle doing work, and we literally just bought some fans at Costco because we just could not bear the heat anymore. So in the video, you'll actually see me wearing fans. Funny enough, even though we just bought some fans, I'm adding another JisuLife fan to my collection, which is the Pro1S portable fan. I'm a big fan of JisuLife, no pun intended. But ever since summer started, I have been bringing a JisuLife fan with me everywhere I go. This summer, I am trying to be adventurous because we have outdoor events, family activities, and shopping trips. But as a girl who is entering into womanhood, we cannot afford to be sticky and sweaty. I want to enjoy the sun and feel good. So I carry this portable, compact, and sleek fan in my bag, and it has been making summer 10 times easier. I have obviously used fans from JisuLife before, but I am still amazed how powerful the Pro1S is considering it's a portable fan. If you are also living in a small space like me, this is perfect because the 100 wind speed adjustment and 40-hour battery life makes RV life wonderful with great quality and small design. This fan is made for tiny living. I was feeling so hot in my RV, but as soon as I turned it on, I was able to cool down quickly and get back to work. Here's the fan at its lowest setting versus the highest setting. Wow, this was amazing. It's been 90 degrees here, so I've been having it on full blast. I appreciate how quiet it is as well because the air conditioner can be a bit loud and distracting. I have been using it all week, and from the minute I charged it to now, it's not even close to dying. It doesn't matter if you are hiking, if you're at a theme park, taking a walk, or even just trying to get some work done in your office. I think the worst feeling is being hindered by the heat. But with the Pro1S portable fan, the heat will be a breeze to get through. Click the link in my description box with the discount code if you want to feel cool this summer. And thank you so much JisuLife for supporting this channel. Yeah, but seriously, not an exaggeration. The heat has been hindering my work big time, and I already kind of felt hindered. And we did go to Costco and buy these like neck fans, which you will see me wear these like all the time. I've been just like using fans this entire summer because like the air conditioner has just not been reliable, of course, in the old RV. And now all of a sudden it wants to turn back on. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening here. And to be honest, I already felt pretty behind on work, and I have been working on things, so it's not like I've never been working, but I feel like I could be doing so much more. The problem with sometimes being self-employed is there's no clear distinction of when work starts and when work ends. You're just kind of figuring it out as you go, and so sometimes that can lead to just a lot of distractions, wasted time, and not really being in the zone in the hotel. And this is something I've been thinking about. Like, I built like a whole YouTube channel simply off of a bed because I did not have a workspace. Like, yes, at the end of the hotel journey, I did have a little workspace for clay and things like that. But overall, when I was editing videos, when I was doing languages, when I was doing things, it was all centered around being on a bed. And I was talking about this with my mother at one point, and this is before I got the RV. This was before I was even considering an RV. But I was just telling her, like, whoa, I got the realization that my whole life has been revolving around a bed. I don't know what it's like to work in like a coffee shop or even a library or even a desk, all these different things that I used to experience. Of course, before I became homeless, I used to work at the dining room table, couch. I had a desk set up and I was able to paint there. It was such a beautiful thing to be able to hop from one place to another. And I started to really look back at this homeless journey. I'm like, oh my goodness, every single thing I have learned, every single thing I have worked for, it's all been on a bed, which just kind of also shows that you don't need a lot. But I'm in a point in my life where I just want more space. And I also forgot that like for years, I haven't had any personal space. And a lot of it is you can make these adjustments, but you just get so used to that lifestyle that you really don't think much about it. And so that's why like with chapter 18, the whole point of this is me really growing out of those homeless ways, getting out of that homeless rut. I'll never forget where I came, but that doesn't mean I have to stay in that position. I can always make healthy adjustments, whatever the Lord sees fit, and of course, following his guidance. But there's nothing wrong with changing things up and learning that I've outgrown it. So it's been extremely difficult for me to concentrate in that RV. Like when I'm even in there, I don't even think anything about work, which can actually be a great thing so that if I am trying to escape, I can set a certain tone. And so I'm trying to be more healthy with like work schedule, my sleep schedule. Like, girl, it is 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm filming a video, but hey, I'm in the mood to film. Let's not talk about it. But there's things like that where I wish I just had a better routine. And I'm hoping that as I'm moving into my own RV, kind of living on my own, like, yes, I'm literally parked next door to my family. So we're not that far away, but just trying to set a new tone for the day, the week, the year, and just lock in. When it comes to work, I don't want to act like I'm ignoring these people. You really care about them, but they don't know when I'm working, when I'm not. Like, they just see me at a computer, but they don't see what I see. They don't see me working on a video. They don't see me typing up a story. And so I have been interrupted, and I don't really like to break Holy Spirit's flow because when he's flowing, you don't want to mess with that. So therefore, big update, and I decided to make this big move to honestly make bigger moves with my business. Now we're gonna get into money, of course. How did I do this financially speaking? I think you all are pretty much aware of the finances when it comes to our like homeless journey. You all were pretty much in the mix of things, and that's because I felt obviously responsible to let you all know like what we're doing with the money. It's just, in my opinion, when people are giving something, it's incredibly irresponsible. I'll say monetary wise, it's irresponsible to not let people know what's going on with the money. So you all witnessed that. We bought an RV, and when it comes to GoFundMe money, we have just used all of it to pour back into stability. So we were able to buy decor, and we're still buying things for this RV and trying to get things situated because as time has gone on, things have just changed for whatever reason, and we're making some healthy adjustments. But speaking of donations, I am so sorry because you guys have been aware that like the GoFundMe has always been open, obviously, but my goal was always to close down the GoFundMe after we bought what we bought, whatever that was, land, a home, whatever the case may be. I have not been able to close down this GoFundMe account for whatever reason. GoFundMe won't let me shut it down. Like, I'll turn off donations and then immediately GoFundMe will switch it back on. And I've done it before where I've turned donations off, and for whatever reason, I've done it so many times and GoFundMe will not let me. And that was not my intentions, like, because everyone's even still asking for the Amazon wish list, and I'm like, guys, we're not doing an Amazon wish list anymore. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm good. So I really want to just shut everything down, because obviously you guys have been constantly giving unto us, which I'm so grateful for. But what I love about what happened, how God did things, it's like, it's not just the donations. Like, I don't live my life off of donations. The donations help push us to live a better life overall, because it's like, once we got our housing situation in order, momentum started building up. Like, we don't live our life off of donations anymore. And I'm amazed at the beneficence, because people are still donating. And I feel really bad because I'm trying to close down this GoFundMe, but GoFundMe's not letting me. Like, GoFundMe can be kind of glitchy at times. So it's all these different things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to shut it down, but I can't shut it down for whatever reason. So by no way, shape, or form was I trying to like con you guys by just keeping up the GoFundMe. No ma'am, no sir, that was not my goal. I really do apologize for still having this GoFundMe up, and the homeless journey is over. It's over. But I have been able to buy this RV myself. Now, I buy everything with cash. I literally do not even have a credit score, if we're going to be so raw and real. I haven't built any credit. We love buying everything in cash. And I have considered maybe building credit with like a business credit card. But in my mind, I don't want credit cards or even loans to be something I'm living off of, or I'm only taking them out because I'm desperate and I need them. It should be more out of like, oh, I want to build my credit score. You know what I mean? So I buy everything in cash. We, of course, bought that one in cash. It made the most sense to do so. I mean, we had all that money. But even going forward, when I make any purchase, it's always in cash. Something I like to also talk about when it comes to my money, I think when you're telling people about your finances and what you did, you got to tell kind of the full picture, the full story. So I'm letting you all know, like, I buy everything in cash. But another thing I do is I give 10%. You all know, like, as a Christian, I'm a firm believer in like giving back to God and sowing a seed in that area financially and being a cheerful giver. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that sowing money into other people, into God's kingdom, hasn't come back 10 times fold. I wholeheartedly believe like all the tithing that I have done has resulted in a lot of blessings. And I know there's been so many issues with tithing, and I get it because it's been kind of a lot going on in the church. But I will say I tithe 10% of every stream of income, because I don't just make money off of one thing. Every single paycheck, I tithe 10%. And I just think that that's extremely important to share. It's obviously not to brag or to even like show off, like I give this amount and do this, but I do think like when you're sowing a seed and when you're giving unto others, it's really important that people can see all of this fruit in your life, but people don't necessarily understand all the steps that you're taking. And so for me, that is a very important step and something that I'm not really willing to negotiate on. I just always want my heart to be bent in the right direction when it comes to money. And I think the first step is giving your 10% to the Lord. So that is something that I think you all will really need in terms of just knowing my finances a little bit more. Something about me as well is I save up for a lot of things at once because I am trying to spread my money evenly, and I want to take care of my personal life, but I also want to take care of my business, because especially when you run a business, and people may not really understand this, but like when you're on YouTube, you are running a business. This is a business. I know based off of being the viewer on the other side, you may not see it that way, but when you're the content creator, you are running this like it's your own. You're on YouTube, of course, like YouTube is a platform, it's owned by Google, but you start to realize like there's a lot of entrepreneurial skills that you have to learn, and you have to constantly reinvest back into this business. That can be very difficult to manage, like business and personal, but I feel like I have found a healthy medium. And to me, it's all about just laying out all of my financial goals, making it crystal clear, and then having separate accounts so I can save up for multiple things at once. Just to give you all some examples, I have a business savings account, business emergency account, Clay business savings, education fund, studying abroad fund, retirement, medical, personal emergency fund, a car fund, pet fund, taxes. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, I literally have a triplet fund, which I'm so honored that I'm able to even do that. The triplet fund is essentially money that I decide to put towards the triplets goals, towards the triplets aspirations. And I just think that's so healthy that as a big sis, like if I had a proper older sister, I would have wanted someone to do the same for me. And this is what I talk about. Like, I just have certain goals in personal and business. And like, this is obviously a personal goal of mine where I just want the triplets to always feel secured in what they're doing and know that they have my support, not just physically, but financially. So I do put money aside even for my family. So under normal circumstances, I would have a RV fund, but that wasn't the case. Like, God works in mysterious ways, okay? I was really supposed to be saving up for a car, and basically all the money that I was going to put towards my car went to an RV, but I'm happy I didn't buy a car because I was planning on getting like a cute little guy, and I'm glad I didn't though, because I would have got one of these like cutesy little cars and I wouldn't have been able to pull this RV. So I want to get a car that's obviously suitable and has enough weight to pull this little guy. Saving is huge. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You gotta save your money big time because you have to be prepared for the good times and the bad times. And then I know just as a family, like, yes, I may be living independently, but I feel really responsible for my family financially. And I mean this like in the healthiest way possible. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want my family to ever feel like they're on their own or that they don't have my support. And I think that comes down to firstly just saving a lot. Yes, I'm independent, like I'm 18 years old, I'm on my own, but I think it's actually really healthy to kind of have more of a family mindset because later on in the future, if I was to have like my own family and things like that, I'm already thinking about us as a group and not just everything on an individual level. It has taught me so much about how to actually manage money because there's certain bills that I actually pay for that technically have nothing to do with me, but it's, once again, it's about being very open, financially speaking, and allowing God to move in so many ways and directions. And if I am not saving, though, in a proper way where I have enough money for my family, enough money for myself, enough money for my business, that can obviously get really chaotic and messy. But I will admit that there's certain bills and things that I pay for. I obviously made it known that I have a triplet fund, which is so cool to set aside money for the triplets goals. And I want them to chase after things and not be limited by money because that was the big issue with homelessness. Everyone was really limited based off what they could do financially. Of course, there's natural limitations, but we don't have to stop dreaming, stop doing the things that we feel called to do because of finances. And there's even bills that I pay for when it comes to like braces and things like that. I've been paying my own braces ever since I started that braces treatment again because when I was homeless, I had braces before I became homeless. And then when I became homeless, we obviously couldn't pay for them. But I know there was like this whole debate like, you have braces, so you can't be homeless. No, ma'am. No, sir. I had braces, but I was stuck with them and I never was able to get proper treatment. But once I started making my own money, I was able to start making regular payments. And something that I really, really love is like I was also able to pay for my mom to get her treatment. She's been getting like Invisalign. And I was like, oh, I have that in my budget. And that's where budgeting really comes in. I was like, I can pay this bill for you. Like, don't worry about it, mother. And so I love a healthy amount of just responsibility when it comes to helping others out. And like I said, this is just not to brag. I'm not trying to like put myself on this crazy pedestal, but I'm just trying to give you all a perspective. Like as an 18-year-old girl, how am I walking in maturity when it comes to my finances? And this is just my thinking. I personally think having a healthy amount of responsibilities and not just kind of being in my own independent 18-year-old world gives me a broad range of how I budget money, how I save up for things, how I pay for bills, and I don't obviously carry the full weight of my family. Like, to be honest, everyone literally has their own jobs and their own path now, which is so cool to see. Everyone's kind of working on things. So like no one's heavily relying on me, which is great. But there are moments where I'm just like, I know you don't need my help technically, but I want to help out in any way I can. And that has made me budget things in a better way. And even though I'm talking about ways that I support my family, there's been so many other ways that they have supported me because, like I said, I don't pay for every little thing myself. There are so many things that we split and we're just able to work on a common goal collectively. When it came to the RV, like I pretty much bought that myself, but overall, when it comes to other instances, like there's certain things I'll fully pay for and there's other things where we're sharing, and sometimes my mom will cover for things, and we're just at a really great place financially. We're all chipping in, we're all helping one another. I think America needs to do more of that because the independent route is not working, and that's why a lot of people are moving in back with their parents. I'm so grateful for all of my mom's help, all of the wisdom that she has poured into me, and now I'm able to pour back into her. It's such a healthy relationship with money when it comes to just even with family. So everything has been going great financially. Praise God. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Something I find really interesting as well is like as I have been posting content of the RV living series, you know, I find it interesting that when I was homeless, people were like, okay, like we were getting close obviously to the end of it, but by episode like 17, 18, people are like, okay, I'm ready to see a new life, a new adventure. I want you out of the hotel. Got out of the hotel, and now I'm posting videos about me buying things and me kind of getting back into just shopping, getting into the real world, buying decor. And like the first comment I see is like, you better be careful because, you know, you guys are buying all these new things. You're buying a new camera. And I don't think people realize how much money I make. People don't understand that there's been an overall increase when it comes to my income. Yes, it's fluctuated. It's been up, it's been down, but there's been, like I said, an overall increase. So I have more income coming in, but what I am trying to do is make sure that the expenses stay low. Like that's what you really want. You want the income to go up and the expenses to go low, because especially with a business, that can be kind of some of the cash flow issues. It's just like the expenses are so high that you're not really making a profit. The margins are pretty poor, and that's not what we're trying to do. And something that has been extremely like helpful just even on this journey is knowing that we have technically 2 lots and a storage, and we're still paying less money at an RV park than what we would in a hotel each month, which is just such a blessing. So yes, I still have bills, I still have responsibilities, but I don't feel bogged down, and it's very, very manageable for me, which I love. Like not a ton of pressure, but I think when you are adulting, there needs to be a certain amount of pressure because that pushes you in such a healthy direction to just keep pushing, keep striving for better things, and also trusting in God throughout this whole process. There's a certain amount of healthy pressure, which I feel like I've been so grateful to experience that as soon as I turned 18. And I just think for years after going through so much financial turmoil, it has been pretty nice to just see an overall change with finances. Something to add into here as well is I reinvest a lot of my money back into my future. Obviously, you know, I don't know how long RV life is going to be, but I have so many goals and things outside of RV life. And that all comes down though to reinvesting back into the business and, like I said, your personal life. But that still comes down to you constantly reinvesting money back into things. And of course, being self-employed, I have so many opportunities to do that with YouTube, with my business and other endeavors, which makes me really excited because then the goals can just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and God can just move in so many ways. But it is cool to start just always making sure I'm reinvesting back into business and personal life. But sometimes I reinvest a little too much into the business. I don't know. I get so much joy out of making business moves and having business responsibilities and working. So like I'm supposed to be technically paying myself a certain amount, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I have whatever in my personal account. I'll just move that to the business account. Because I personally get a lot of joy out of just buying things even for my business. Like the camera that I'm using now, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Like, yes, it was a business expense, but I already love cameras and I used to have a lot of antique cameras before, and I get personally a lot of joy out of already doing what I do. So like, and then that could be a business write-off for taxes. But seriously, I don't need a whole lot personally because everything that I buy is already tied back to the business, which means though, everything that I buy is all about being smarter with money instead of harder with money. Because a problem people tend to have is like they're trying to balance so many things personally and then so many things business wise, and like my personal expenses are literally like so low. If anything, it's just managing the business, which makes life though kind of easy because my life has been my business in a sense, and there's certain things I'll put so much money into, but I'll also take into account ways I can save money. Something I bought for the space was an iMac, and of course an iMac is quite expensive, and I bought the latest iMac, the M4 chip 2024, yeah, all those fancy little titles, and I saw the price on that website and I said absolutely not. So I only paid $600 for my iMac. Yeah, only $600. Here's a little cheat code. Firstly, I traded in any other Apple devices that just were not of good use. I did go to Apple's official refurbished site. Please, if at all possible, when you're buying things refurbished, go to the official website. That's what I did with my camera, and that's what I did with this Mac. And of course, it was still like $1,099. I still wasn't willing to pay that. And so I went back to my good old buddy Fetch, got some gift cards there, and that's how I only paid $600. Yeah, it's so nice though, because even when I look at the Mac, I'm so proud that I got it down to $600. But that's like how you save money. I'm very aware that yes, I want to buy things for my business, but I'm not gonna spend my whole paycheck on even something that I need, because I actually need a new Mac because my laptop went out on me. Therefore, I needed it, but I was willing to do some research, think about how I could save some money, and I value every single dollar. I think the most valuable thing homelessness has taught me when it comes to finances is valuing every single penny, every single dollar. Because when you're in a position where you're $3 short, you start to think about, oh my goodness, those $3 could have paid for a night at a hotel. And I'm not exaggerating, where we have been in positions where we're pennies short, and we can't pay for something. So I just value every single dollar that comes my way, and I'm not so quick to immediately buy things full price. I'm always trying to find a good deal, a good sale, and if something's not on sale, I try to still find ways to make sure that the money I'm investing in the business is going to come back 10 times fold, which obviously, of course, investing $600 into an iMac, like that's easy. Money will be coming back because it's so low, but I'm getting so much out of this iMac just by writing my book, just by working on other projects, designing things, building my website, which I have built my website, but just continually building my website, obviously editing. You can't tell me that like $600 to get that much work in and also make that much return, so worth it. So it's all about finding smarter ways to save money. Please don't miss out on couponing and sales and buying things refurbished, and you'll feel happier about the purchases. Let's dive into the RV cost. I bought a new 2025 Gulfstream Enlighten 17BH. I bought a new camper from Camping World, which that's where we bought our last camper, and usually I buy things refurbished, but the price was listed as $9,777. Now, why is that the case? Because usually, even with like the little guys, they still will have you pay at least 10 grand. but we have been experiencing a lot of hail and just crazy weather in Oklahoma. It actually has calmed down. But at the time, which was really not that long ago, especially in May, there was a lot of hail going on. And obviously that created a lot of indents in the RV, so they had a hail sale, which means the price that I have, what's really the discounted value, I was able to basically get a new RV, which was a better price than spending money on a used one. There was a sale right there, and I was very pleased. Immediately when I saw the price, I was already intrigued, and then I saw the little guy, did a tour of it, and I was like, yes, this is mine. This is my RV. This is mine. I'm taking you home, buddy. Taking you home. But we all know that doesn't cover all of the cost. Like, we still have insurance, taxes, the title, delivery fee, dock fee, and RV essentials. So in total, I spent, drumroll please, $11,268.95. There you go, folks. That's how much I spent on my RV. And all the tips I have given you have obviously helped with like getting to this point. I know where my money is going. I personally like to do things digitally and on paper. So usually I'm writing out my budget on paper, and then I'll use other systems like QuickBooks, Rocket Money to just help facilitate what I am doing. But it's all about just knowing where your money is going and how your money can go in a better direction. Because yes, this does naturally depreciate over time, but I feel like for what I'm trying to do and the goals that I really want to achieve, it's better to invest in a space for just even business, because if I was not able to get any work done in that RV, then my business is just suffering and I can't keep living life like that. So while it is a lot of money up front, I feel like the money that I'll get in return for putting a seed into, once again, my business and making bigger business moves, it's ultimately just going to result into me having more motivation, me being mentally in a better space, creatively producing things. And I wasn't really trying to live in this space, but I started to realize that I needed more personal space. Like I told you, I'm not used to even having personal space. It's been years since I have even been in a room myself. The thought that no one's here right now is a little weird to me. So initially this was just going to be for business. This was just going to be my office space. But my mom and I started talking about it a little more, and I was like, actually, I think I should start living here a bit and just learning how to navigate some things myself. Of course, I'll be over there to wash my clothes. And I say I'm buying my own food. Like, let's be so for real. I'll buy some things for myself and then I'll go right over there to go eat. Like every day I've been going in and I'm like, it's dinner time. Where's my food? Oh, lunchtime. I'm here for lunch. Like, so let's be so for real. I kind of live like in two RVs, but it's been nice to just have a bit of healthy separation. And that's what I'm just really experiencing with this new life. And I am so excited for the new content that's gonna be coming out, because now I'm gonna be, you guys already know me. Like, you see this bed? You see this bed? Nicely decorated. I know. I've taken a lot of time to decorate it, and that means more shopping videos, more decorating videos, but I am so excited because this is literally my beehive. So we're transforming this layer, this RV, into the beehive, and I hope you'll stick around and subscribe to become a busy bee. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!